Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Hoops Rehab Show, ending on a Sunday night after round one. All the game ones are done. You got the game
What's up?
injury doc, aka Dr. Evan Jeffries, and we got my man Eric B. Mack on the right. How you doing, Eric? Happy
Good,
Easter.
man. Happy Easter too. Hope you guys had a good one. All the game ones are in the books, and on to game two. How did your Easter go?
Yeah, it was good, man. Pretty quiet. Kept it low key. We had a little party yesterday, so
Okay.
it was nice. That's why we had the late night emergency pod last night. So I got back a little later. But overall, it's a great day, man. No, it's great spending time with the family.
Awesome. Yeah, it's always Easter time is usually like end of the regular season, gearing up for the playoffs,
Yep.
or it is the playoffs. So it's always a sign of obviously playoff basketball. So a little
Oh
bit of
yeah.
an underwhelming slate of first games, but at least tonight we ended up getting a pretty good one, which I know we'll get into.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys don't know, follow us on the Hoops Rehab Show on YouTube. Please subscribe, follow, share. Just kind of if you want to watch it live there, that's great too. And always comment from either YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram. We'll try to get back to you guys. And then also our handles at the Game Injury Doc on all social media platforms, and Eric B. Mack as well. Uh, but yeah, welcome everybody. We're gonna
Yes,
kind of
sir.
break down Sunday, all the game ones, and then just really get into a little bit of preview for Monday. So let's just get it cracking. So Warriors and Rockets matched up, and Eric B. Mack already knows how I feel about them Rockets.
Oh
And
yeah.
to be expected, the Warriors won game one. What do you say about that game?
It was definitely a tale of two halves and two thoughts. Like I was just getting ready to just jump on here, and I'm still going to say a lot of the similar things, but I was getting ready to jump on here and say honestly, like this is why we chose the Warriors to obviously to win this series. I
Yeah,
still believe Rockets really needed to get game one. I think if they got game one, it wasn't where I would be worried for the Warriors, but I just thought that there was some kind of confidence builder that would have came from it.
yeah,
And if you watch that first half and probably like the first half of the third quarter as well, I mean, Warriors built up a 20-point lead. Houston couldn't really do a lick offensively. And I was kind of like, wow, this is like, I figured it'd be a long series with the Warriors winning, but I kind of
yeah.
thought to myself, damn, this might even be kind of short. But then the Rockets kind of changed their strategy a bit and they went super big. And I thought that kind of changed the complexion of the game a little bit.
Yeah.
But what did you see out there in terms of just overall and the Rockets and Warriors series?
You know, for me, what stood out just with the matchup was that you had a superstar loaded team. You know, when you look at Steph and Jimmy Butler, and you can even put Draymond Green in there just because of the sheer championship experience and leadership and his playmaking ability, versus a young, talented team with, to be honest, I don't even know who is their superstar at this point, if they
Yeah.
have one, right? They have some up and coming players like Sengun and Jalen Green, but Jalen Green is their leading scorer, and how much did he have tonight, right? So if
Seven
that's your
points.
if that's your leading scorer and you got 7 points in the ball game, that's going to be difficult to win a game one at home with that. So those
I
are kind of like my initial thoughts, just kind of going into the series.
Yep.
Um, I do think though Houston will muck it up. Like they're a great, pretty talented defensive team. Overall, they were ranked fifth in the league in defense, so you know that it's going to be a pretty defensive battle. And then also Golden State is up there as well. They're ranked seventh in defensive efficiency. So you know these games are probably going to be in the 90s, maybe low 100s, and kind of be a little rougher, more physical type of game. When you get physical like that, the main thing is if you have a guy like Steph Curry or even a physical player like Jimmy Butler that can actually take over a game, that's what makes a difference, in my opinion. So I honestly, what I said before, and this was probably about 2 weeks ago, I said if the Rockets match up against the Warriors in that 2-7, and this is before we knew anything, I said the Rockets are going to Cancun in 4, or I'll give them the gentleman's sweep in 5. And so I'm still kind of on that right now. I think the Warriors are going to either take game 2 and then really just finish it off in the Bay, or the Rockets come out and give it a little battle, and then the Warriors kind of reel off 3 in a row after that. So it could be a long series. Just kind of what I had predicted about 2 weeks ago. What do you say?
A couple of nights ago we were kind of talking about how this kind of reminded us of a little bit of like the Sacramento Golden State series a couple of years
Mm,
ago, but we
yeah.
also did point out that we didn't mean that Sacramento and Houston are similar. Like they're very much not at all similar. Sacramento had a lot of firepower, obviously with Fox and Sabonis and company.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of meant like, there's a team that's probably like a little, maybe a year or two early. And that's kind of what we're seeing here. I think there's going to be some close games. I think that first half was just kind of a first time, Houston has really been there in a long time, and Golden State, like,
Yeah.
we've been here many times. I really think it's going to be some close games, but when you have obviously Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, I mean, I just can't see Houston winning 4 games against those superstars.
Yeah.
They got some good players. Like Sengun, I like a lot. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
say that I've really watched him a ton this year, but the times that I have, and then tonight, like he is going to definitely be a difference maker in the series, and they're going to have him play really well to even have a chance. And he did. He was their best player tonight by far. You touched on Jalen Green. I don't want to totally get on the young man. It's his first playoff game, but man, he just sometimes just leaves like a little bit too much out there. Like he was obviously, I mean, he had a bad night, 3 for 15, right? It happens, but I feel
Yeah.
like some of the games I've watched, like he's just, I don't know, like in these big moments so far, like he hasn't really come through, and he's not that proficient scorer that they're going to really need. And so
Yeah.
I think, like you said, they're going to have to muck it up. They're going to have to play Adams. How many minutes did he play? He played 20 minutes today. So play
Yeah.
18 to 20 minutes and hope to kind of body up the Warriors a little bit, get a little physical with them. And again, muck it up and hope that it's in the 80s, 90s. Because if it gets into the hundreds, 110, you could forget
Yeah.
about it. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I see. I do see Houston winning. I just going to throw it out there. I see them winning in game 2 by a decent margin.
Uh-huh.
But then I just don't know what's going to happen in Golden State, obviously. But that's kind of
Yeah.
what I see. It's no surprise. It's inexperience versus championship DNA. So
For sure. Yeah, I mean, when you look at their lineups, right, you got Jalen Green, 23 years old. Sengun, he's 22. Like, he looks like he's at least 27, 28, but
I
he's
know.
22 years old. Amen Thompson, 22, right? Those three right there are your core, your cornerstone pieces that are going to be great players and not even close to being in their prime, right? So you got a couple more years until they actually get there. So, like I was saying before, like a couple weeks ago, like they just totally remind me of OKC. And as they started building, I don't think they have the caliber player of a SGA on that roster.
Right.
However, I feel like Sangoon can come into that, like, probably a top, 10, 15 player in his prime, right? So he can be that player that is their all-star, perennial all-star, maybe even get into MVP status as he gets older and things like that. They have those players, but they got the worst matchup they could ever get in the first round, and
Yep.
that's getting the Warriors with championship experience and veteran leadership. So I think they're just outmatched in that way. Yeah, I can see them making it a series and getting a game or two. Like I don't doubt they'll win some games. It's just
Right.
more of when you look at experience and everything like that. The Warriors have everything checked off in that box.
Yeah, there was two plays like kind of like similar to last night when I was talking about the Lakers that play with when we missed the 3-pointer and
Yeah.
then DiVincenzo hit one at the buzzer and it was like a 6-point swing, right? And so there was two real key plays in the fourth that I thought told me, man, this is like what's going to happen, right? So
Mhm.
and it was almost exactly the same thing each time. So Rockets played like they were making their run. They were down 5 or 6, maybe even 4 at one point. And they got it down to 3, but this is at the time they were
Yeah.
down by 5 or 6, and they played tremendously for about 20 seconds of the shot clock. And unfortunately, the ball bounced off of them out of bounds both times off the
Mhm.
Rockets, with
Yep.
essentially Golden State having 3 or 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Two different plays, two different times. Steph Curry 3-pointers. And it was just so I just felt so deflated for them because they had
Yeah.
played such tenacious defense. Just to have like an unfortunate bounce of the ball, just for Golden State to kind of have obviously a set run, and Curry just to make two threes, and like I was just thinking like, damn, like that was such two crucial points of the game. If they go the other way, right, Houston gets the ball back, maybe they score off that instead.
Yeah.
We may have a different ball game. So there's always those key plays as we've talked about, and of course it was Steph that is the one that was the main focus and the main contributor to those big plays today. So I mean
Yeah. For
he
sure.
was he was he was balling like usual, 31 points, right?
Yeah.
Big threes, 5 from 9 from 3-pointer, 3-point
Yeah.
land, 12 from 19 from the field. I mean, he obviously does it all. So
Yep.
yeah, it's going to be tough sledding for Houston, that's for sure.
That's for sure. I mean, think about this NBA and when you used to think about father time, right? Like Steph is 37 years old. Like it's still remarkable what he's doing at this point. Just his ability to, I mean, he's always been proven to, like when they started tracking it, he runs the most miles in the NBA. He just continuously runs
It's crazy.
constantly around screens, right? And so to be able to stay in that shape, to be the size he is, and to be able to still get his shot off anytime he wants is pretty remarkable to be at that age. And it just makes you wonder, like, how long can he actually play for, right? Like, physically, he looks amazing. Um, and it's going to be one of those things where we're looking at, like, him at 40 and being like, damn, he's still doing this at 40 like a LeBron. Like, I don't know if we're going to have a dramatic fall off with Steph, kind of like we've seen with players, right? He's kind of more him, LeBron, KD. They're kind of on that trajectory where they're not having this significant fall off. And I think they might kind of go out like that, right? We saw with, for example, Carmelo Anthony in his last couple of years, he was still good. He just wasn't the guy on the team, right? Like he can come in and get you 10 to 15 off the bench, but he was never going to be a continuous starter the whole rest of his career. So I
Yep.
think we're in some remarkable territory with those three guys of just being like their team's go-to person and continuing to be that at that age, which is, in my opinion, just unheard of. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, what they're doing is tremendous. All those three guys, and especially obviously LeBron and Steph Curry, who I mean, I guess the style that he plays, and obviously he's the best shooter of all time. So I guess that doesn't go away, but he does
yeah,
obviously so much more too. And so yeah, like the one thing, obviously with him, Draymond, Jimmy Butler. I mean, I do the one thing I would, I guess, semi concerned being going forward. I kind of was thinking about it. Like they really just go about 6, 7 deep, and I get it in the playoffs.
yeah,
You normally don't go that deep. I'm just curious how, same as the Lakers, how a long run is going to kind of like what kind of effect it's going to have like on
take
your
his
your
toll.
Draymond Greens, right? And
Yeah,
so what's interesting is Jonathan Kaminga is completely off the
yep,
out of the rotation right now, which
yep,
he would kind of be that other young athletic player that would probably get some minutes. So it's interesting that he's really he didn't play. I don't think he played at all tonight. And so I
nope.
don't know. What are your thoughts about that? I mean, they don't go that deep. Is that? I mean, it's going to obviously this matchup. I don't think it's going to hurt him at all. But going
Yeah,
forward, it is something to think about. I thought.
yeah, and Steve Kerr has done this throughout Kaminga's career, right? He's
Yep.
been up on the team where he starts, and he's been falling off the team where he doesn't even come off the bench. And it's kind of just weird, interesting, like to see like why he doesn't necessarily fit with this type of team. And I think eventually it's going to be something where they're going to trade him because it seems like he needs to just go somewhere else to kind of take his talent to another level. But I do think he does a great job of staying ready. You don't really hear him complain. You don't really hear a bunch of, just like him being a locker room issue.
No.
And so I think he's going to stay ready, and they're going to need him at some point, whether it's this series or if they get past the series in the next series. Because I do think his size is pretty important for them, especially off the wing. And then there's times where Moody or Buddy Hield are just not really on their game, and he might be able to provide that spark. But yeah, Steve Curry's not going to play much more than that, that solid 8-9 man rotation as far as, he'll get a sprinkle in a couple guys, but as far as solid minutes, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously Kaminga, I believe he's healthy, so he has normally stayed ready, and so a
Yeah.
series where they might need him or a game that they may need him,
Yep.
he's still an option, and so yeah, like it'll yeah. Just kind of want to see. It was just I thought he was such a big part of their
Yeah.
plans, and obviously they've been doing well without him the last like few games, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be Warriors all day. It's just a matter of when,
How many?
not if. But I must say though, I do like, albeit in a loss, what Houston showed in the second half. They may have found a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
They were attacking Curry a little bit. I noticed on the defensive end. Um, Thompson, I think, is going to be a good player. Yeah, Amen Thompson.
Yep.
And he played, yeah, he didn't, I mean, stats wise, he played 33 minutes, 449, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists is not bad. Just his like flow and his, I feel like he might end up being like, one of their big contributors, probably not these playoffs, but in the next couple of years along with Sengun and Green. So they definitely have a bright future. It just, they are, as you said, in the like most likely the most possible, like worst matchup, they can really ask for, but they're going to gain some experience from this, and that's definitely valuable going forward.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. Game 2, but the Warriors look like they're in a good position there. Yeah, like you said, though, I did like to see the Rockets make it a game because I did not want to see 4 blowouts on a Sunday, which we've already had 3. So it's been a little rough sledding for the NBA today when I would say yesterday's matchups were a little bit better there. So before we get into the next topic, again, if you guys want to comment, leave anything for us, let us know. We'll kind of get to it throughout the show. We'll have the comment join the stage there so you guys can see it there. But just let us know what you guys are feeling about the NBA playoffs so far after round 1, game 1s are done. All right, so let's get into our next segment, Something Happened Today, where we talk about injuries